What is going on, people? Today I'm gonna do something different. Before I've always just recorded my drawing at the time I drew it and then just went over things afterwards. This time I'm going to go through the layers. So as you can see, actually you can't see the layers, but never mind. You can see different things. I'm gonna go through the layers, the key points, and talk about what I could have done better, what I liked, and so forth. And we'll see how the video goes. Okay, so let's start off with the first few layers. Just jump around there. Okay, so I'm gonna use a I'm gonna use a red pen just so I can highlight mistakes. But anyway, okay, so the idea with this, the original idea was that he was jumping in the air with crossing his arms with the weapons in his hand. But after a while, when I got to this stage, I realized it doesn't look like that. It looks like he's kind of crouched with one leg in front of the other and one leg backwards. And I don't mind it, but it was not the original intention. And I think the mistake I made was not bringing his body closer to the basically bringing his body closer than what his leg is. Like his leg, this leg here, looks further than his body does. So because of that, it gives the impression that he's kind of not leaning backwards, but he's crouching with his leg forward rather than jumping in the air with his body moving forward and his legs just slightly underneath him. And so the way to fix that again would have just been to make his body, just bring his body, so let's just a thicker line actually, would have just been to bring his body more so around here with his head like around here somewhere, and then have his arms kind of crossed like this, right? And then you could have his legs go like that. I'm doing a really rough sketch here, but and have his foot down like there. And if you wanted to have the leg go forward, you could just draw the legs and then the thigh, whatever, right? And that would make it just let me just reduce some of the 1 second. That would make it look a little bit like he's actually jumping at me, which was the original intention. But anyway, now other than that, what did I like, what didn't I like? This leg here, this like calf shin area, including the foot, to me it's not let me precise, it's not long enough. I needed to bring this ankle part here a little bit further down, maybe include the heel of the foot here, and then have the feet come out like that, and it would have looked a little bit more natural. It looks fine now, but I feel like it would have looked a lot better if I had done that originally, because right now his leg looks kind of short, but I can kind of get away with it because if his legs are sort of at an angle, like stretched forward towards where I guess you can say a camera, it would look shorter than it would be if it was standing up. So I kind of get away with it, but again, in my opinion, I would make it I'd make it a little bit longer and then just add the heel in there, because the angle does allow you to add the heel right there, and I think that would have been fine. Also as well, this right leg here, it's a little bit of a mess, you know, and typically when I make mistakes while drawing, if it's not too distracting, I will not change it, just because at this stage things are just kind of nailed down, and so I just don't really want to change it if it's not that big of an issue. So with this one, again, I would have added the heel a little bit, right? I would have instead of having the curve here, right, instead of having that curve, I probably would have just straightened it out a little bit, and then what I would have done is just extended the foot a little bit longer, and I think it would have looked a little bit better. And this little curve here is supposed to be basically the inside of his calf muscle, And I think it looks kind of wonky, but I think the only reason why it looks wonky is because you don't see the heel of his foot, right? But that's just me assuming. I mean, again, it looks fine, but you know, I feel like it would look better, a little bit better if I was to do that originally. I had a lot of issue with this area here. Whenever a character is sitting down or crouched or jumping and they bring their legs up towards their chest, I always have issues with trying to figure out where does the leg sit adjacent or in I don't know what the right word is here, but in sync with his torso. Where does it sit? How does it sit? Especially because he's got basically I don't know what you call it. It's not a shell. I don't know what the inside of the turtle's thing is, but it's basically got like a shell like this, right? The torso part of his shell, like this, right? Now, again, I had an issue with it because I was like, how do I change that so that when he's jumping and his legs realistically like around here or whatever, or he's crouching right here, how do I make it look sort of natural? And what I initially had was that, let me just erase this a little bit, go back. What I initially had is that I had the legs kind of going, oops. I had the legs kind of going apart from each other like this. I should more like this to be fair, with the leg coming down like this and then the foot like that. I had the legs kind of going apart like this, but again, because I didn't understand how the torso was in conjunction with the leg, there was this massive gap here. Let me use this blue for this. There was a massive gap here that I didn't know what was supposed to be there. Was his kind of like the back of his legs was supposed to be there? Was it this bottom part of the torso area supposed to be there? I didn't understand what's supposed to be there, but it looked strange. So in order to fix that, I kind of closed the gap so you don't really see it, and luckily I got away with it. But I had a lot of trouble creating that initially. I had a lot of issues with it. I forgot that his thumb should have come around a little bit here and been here around there. I completely forgot about his thumb, but again, because realistically his thumb would go around the back of the weapon because that's how I'd be holding it. Again, I kind of get away with it, so I'm not too worried about it. Another issue I kind of don't like about the hand part is that I should have extended out the hand a little bit here so it was thicker, because it looks kind of thin. It looks kind of thin. It's too thin for me, you know. You got a really big muscly guy and he's got really skinny hands. It just doesn't look right. I probably should have extended out the weapons a little bit, like around there somewhere. And I think I would have preferred that. But again, it's not the worst in the world, so it's okay. All of this bicep area here, this forearm area here, I mean, it's fine, you know, I get away with it. I was not happy with the way it looked before I got to this point. I can't show you now because I've erased a lot of it, but before I got to this point, the forearm and the shoulder area just wasn't looking right, and so I was having issues with this kind of area here. Obviously, luckily the face gets covered up a lot by the swords, by the swords, I can't really call them, but I'll just say weapons for now. The face gets covered up by the weapon, so I get away with a lot of mistakes I probably would have made if the face was more exposed. The eyes, I kind of wanted to make him look angry, and so because he's like, again, the original idea I had was he's jumping at someone, but beyond that. So I wanted to make him look angry, so I kind of just inverted the eyes, where basically, I think this is where the eyebrows would be if he had eyebrows, right? And then that's the whole thing. So let me move on to the next layer now, the next key layer. So you got that one, and then you got here. Now the inking part was definitely the longest part of the whole thing because I took my time with it. I'm going to break it into sections so it's easier to understand. If we look at this section in its entirety, we have the middle of basically the shin bone right here. We have the side of his calf muscles, right? And again, the way I had it was that the light was coming from this direction, kind of over his shoulder, and over his shoulder over here as well. I'm coming from this direction. So because of that, I was like, the darkness would have to be more so in the middle, where the muscle kind of concaves and then extends it out again. So here it it'd be a bend there, and it would concave around this point, and then it'd be another bend there, and concave around this point, and then bend there. So with the way I did the inking, I think this whole section looks really pretty good. I would probably though change the way this area looks. I don't think it makes much sense. If the light is coming from here, you're gonna see a lot of this, right? So I think what I could have done is just separated the gap between the shading area that I did and then the outline, and had a little a white line in between them, and I think it would have helped to create that that look. I think it would have looked a lot better. This foot here, it looks fine, you know, it looks fine, but again, if I had the heel, you know, it would have been whatever, but it looks fine. This here is a little bit confusing. I don't really know what I'm trying to do there. I could have darkened this area out a little bit more, because again, like the light's coming from this direction, but the leg is extended out, so a lot of this is going to be covering over, a lot of this leg is going to be covering over and blocking the light from getting to this leg here, and the light from this area would not really reach this area here. So I could have blackened this out area. Go back. I could have shaded out this area a little bit more. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's some little mistakes, some little things I'm not too happy with here. You know, I would have just made some slight changes, but nothing major though. This leg, actually, we'll look at the leg and the knee here. So the knee, the little band he's got around the knee is fine. I don't have an issue with it. The leg here though, this, and I'll use let me just go back real quick. This area here, I would remove that, and instead of having two dark shading areas here, I would have had the dark shaded area go just slightly here, right? And the only reason I would have done that is to show that there is, again, curve, and then there's an indentation here, and then another curve at the end, and it would have helped to create and the look of the shape of the thigh. Okay, now working my way up. The chains, I have no issues with them realistically. The hand is sort of simplistic, but it's whatever really. The sword, sorry, I keep calling them swords. The weapons, again, looks fine, right? I don't really have any major issues with them. This forearm also looks fine. I don't like it as much as this forearm, but again, it looks fine. I don't have any major issues with it, you know. Like, again, considering where I was even a month ago, like me able to look at this right now is amazing, right? But it still could be better. And then you got the bicep area here. It looks kind of messy to me. I probably would have blackened some parts out here a little bit more. I also, as well, one thing I didn't do with this bicep here, even though I know the band kind of hides it, but I didn't show the curvature of, because if you have the muscle, sorry, that's not the bicep, this would be the tricep. If you have the muscle like this, and that's the tricep, there's obviously a curvature to it. And with this tricep here, I didn't show the curvature, and so the inking should have done that. Now the cross section, I think I can't remember, but the cross section should have fixed this. But the inking, I should have fixed it anyway. The way I would have added the curvature with the inking is probably by just adding something here, so it's got a curved nature to it. Maybe, I don't know. I would have messed around with it anyway. So when we're looking at the shoulder area here, man, again, there's light coming from this direction, and it's coming over the shoulder. What I would have probably preferred is just having a little bit more dark shade in this area here. Yeah, just because I think it would have made more sense. That's what I would have done. This shoulder, again, I probably would have had a little bit more dark area here on this part of the shoulder, more so actually, like oops, right around here somewhat. It's mostly dark. I would have just darkened out that area a little bit here, and rather than have it kind of patchy. The strap around his body, it looks fine. Probably could have darkened out some areas here as well, on the bottom part of it. The mask, sometimes I look at the mask and I'm happy with it. Other times I feel like I could have added a few longer strands of shade rather than having a lot of small ones kind of separated. And I think it would have looked a lot more consistent and less kind of patchy and kind of yeah. But it still looks acceptable. I'm so happy with it. I guess you can call this the eyebrow, but whatever. This area here is fine, and this area here is whatever. Really, I don't really care about this too much. Okay, so that's the inking part. Then we get to the cross hatching. I'm gonna zoom in for this so you can see properly. When I was doing, so when I'm looking at the foot, for example, I'm thinking this toe has got curvature, of course, but because the light's gonna be hitting it, there's not gonna be as much lines or gray area on it, right? Now, so I'm pretty happy with the way this looks, although I probably could have maybe, I don't know, actually. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about this foot, thinking about this toe. I probably could have done some more with it, but I'm not too sure what I would have done. Now, one of the issues I have with this leg, actually, or this calf area, is this area here. So the reason why I have an issue with it is because the light would have been coming around like that, and it would have right here is a concave part, right? So there'd be shade. Same on this side too, and then again you got this shin muscle, shin bone, and but the gray part, because again that cross section right is the gray part, right? The gray area of the or where the gray would sit. There wouldn't be this much gray here. It would actually be shorter. So what I would do is, if I was to do it again, I would probably cut this off a little bit. And I probably would have just had it, maybe more actually. I probably would have done, so I would have kept this and got rid of all this on the end there. And actually I can really just do it real quick first, so you can just see. Yeah, I think I need to just bring it in a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, might need to extend that a little bit more actually. Yeah, around there, somewhere there. Yeah, because I feel like that looks a lot cleaner compared to what it was before. The it wouldn't go all the way around. It doesn't make any sense why it go all the way around, because again, this is a bone, right? Oops, this is a bone and it's sticking out, so the light would hit it. So it doesn't make sense that this whole area here would be gray. That's basically what I'm saying. I didn't really know how to cross hatch this area here. It's just, I just kind of threw some lines and it kind of looks okay, but I could get away with not having lines there, but I just kept it in the end because it didn't really have that much of an impact on it. Here I'm fine with it. Here I like it quite a bit. Here I went not just this way, but I also went this way as well, the opposite way basically, because the light wouldn't be hitting here as much, so I had to double line that one. This leg, again, I like it. I think, although I probably would have changed the direction so that it matched the direction of this one, so there's some consistency there, because they don't match the direction. Like this one's going like this way and this one's going like that way, so I probably would have done that and fixed that up a little bit. I have no issues with this. This looks really good. If we move up, Forearm here looks really good. Or I probably would have shaven some of this cross section off here and kept this. Yeah, you can kind of see some of the gray area here, and it kind of shows the curvature of the tricep. Right around here. The bicep, you can't really see it too much, so it's whatever. Again, you can see some. Again, I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit. Not that much. You can see the lines here showing the curvature of the top of the tricep, so that helps it. The shoulder, some nice lines here. It's fine. Well, that's fine realistically. I got no issues with that. This line, this could have been better. Yeah, this there could have been better, but I'm not too sure what I would have done with it. I think just playing around with it. I think what I would have done is just throw some more lines like here, 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 and just make it a little bit smaller. Also, as well, they're not. It's not consistent. Like, you got a massive separation there and not too much of a separation there. So again, have some consistency with it, and I think it would have looked a lot better, at least in my mind anyway. There's no cross section here because I just didn't know what to do with it or how it would look realistically, so I just left it. The cross section on the hand is simplistic. Could I have done better with it? Maybe a little bit, but I'm not too sure. I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult, to be honest. It's difficult. This forearm here, I like a lot. Yeah, I like it a lot, man. Although I probably would have changed this a little bit. Again, I probably would have changed the angle so that it matched the angle of these ones, because this is kind of going in that direction here. Again, some more consistency would have been nice, but again, it still looks good though. This bicep here looks completely fine. This shoulder here, I like the simplicity of it. Looks good. I threw some lines on this strap. You call it a strap? I guess you can call it a strap. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I threw some lines on this strap. Yeah, and I didn't really throw any cross section on here because again, I wasn't too sure about doing it down here, so I just left it. So yeah, overall cross section wise, probably some of my best work, along with the last Marco drawing I did. The last drawing I did, which was Deadpool, the cross section on that was lazy. I must have done the cross section on that one in like, I don't even know, like 5 minutes. Like, I just threw it together, right? It was messy. But anyway, on to the next layer. Yeah, the colors are the colors, you know. The thing is though with the colors is that if you have a really, if you don't do good on the inking section parts, the colors will really show that it's shaky, or they'll really show the inconsistencies or the weaknesses of the inking. And I realized that with the Wolverine one and a few other ones after or before that as well, with the Wolverine drawing I did. And the cleaner the inking looks, the cleaner adding the color on top of it looks as well. So I feel like I have to get the inking right before I even think about adding the color on top of it. And then I added some lights, obviously. And again, in my mind, originally when I created this, I imagined it was going to be mostly dark. Like when I say mostly dark, I'm saying, because again, I'm saying the lights hitting around the edges here. I thought maybe like all of this area here roughly would be like dark, like pretty dark, and some things would be highlighted with light. But it just didn't end up that way, and the main reason it didn't end up that way is because when I was inking it, I kept forgetting that was the original goal. Instead, I just kind of went with thinking how the light would hit around these sides, and it just didn't work how I wanted it to look. But again, the lighting, it works, it's fine. It makes it look bright. If you take it away again, you can see what it adds to it. It's really cool. I like it a lot. And of course I added the backgrounds to him as well. But anyway, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys liked this style of video. Different, but cooler. I actually enjoy it a little bit more. So anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.